Ropes bit my wrists, the warehouse's chill seeping into my bones like a winter fog. I'm Lily Chun, 12, snatched from Arthur Sterling's Connecticut mansion, my screams stifled by gloved hands. The air reeked of oil, the concrete hard beneath me. I clung to Arthur's pocket watch, its ticking a heartbeat in the dark. Mama's face, her tired, loving eyes, flashed in my mind. Our Fairview Heights apartment a distant warmth. Eleanor Vance's shadow loomed, her voice cold as frost, betraying her as the architect of this terror. Her greed cut sharper than the ropes. Heavy boots echoed, a stranger nearing the rusted door. My pulse raced, the watch's rhythm steadying my trembling hands. Fear was a storm, but I was the oak, rooted in love. The night felt endless. Yet the stars beyond these walls whispered of dawn. I wasn't just a captive. I was Lily, the girl who'd faced fear before. The door's creak was a challenge, and I met it with a spark of defiance. Ready to fight for my life, for Mama, for the hope that burned within me, unyielding as the tides. The warehouse was a cage, but my spirit soared like a sparrow. Arthur's watch, a gift for saving him, ticked with purpose. I'd rescued him in that alley, my courage a beacon in the dark. Eleanor's betrayal stung, her icy smile a poison seeping through my resolve. She'd orchestrated this to tear us apart, to claim Arthur's fortune. But Mama's strength, her late-night sewing, her dreams for my stories, armored me. The cold bit deeper. Yet the watch's pulse warmed my blood. I saw our apartment, its cracked walls holding love stronger than steel. The stranger's steps grew louder, each thud a drumbeat of fate. I wasn't helpless. I was the girl who'd shouted down danger. The night pressed heavy, but hope was a seed, sprouting in my chest. I tightened my grip, the watch a talisman of survival. Eleanor's plan would unravel, I'd make sure of it. The door rattled, and I steeled myself, my breath a prayer for light to pierce the shadow. The door groaned, revealing a silhouette against the dim. Eleanor's scheme was a tangled web, but I was no prey. The watch ticked louder, a metronome of courage. Mama's sacrifices, her calloused hands, her whispered hopes for my future fueled me. I'd saved Arthur once, a millionaire humbled by a girl's bravery. Eleanor's voice echoed, her malice a storm I'd weather. The stranger's boots stopped, and I felt the air shift, like dawn breaking over Long Island Sound. My fear was real, but so was my fire. I was Lily Chun, born of struggle, shaped by love. The warehouse couldn't hold me. No rope could bind my will. I gripped the watch, its weight a promise of tomorrow. The stranger stepped closer, and I lifted my chin, ready to fight, to live, to write my story across the stars. Hope was my weapon, forged in a mother's embrace, tempered by a night that tried to break me. The world would know my name, not as a victim, but as a flame that burned through the dark. Snow crunched under my boots in Fairview Heights, the Connecticut wind slicing through my threadbare coat. Our apartment, a sagging relic, held only Mama's weary breaths, no joy, just the drone of a dying heater. I was 12, fetching Mrs. Gable's donated bread, our nightly salvation. The streets were a gray canvas, each step a brushstroke of survival. Mama's dreams for my writing felt distant, buried under bills and hunger. Our home's cracked walls whispered of better days, now faded like autumn leaves. I saw her sewing late, her fingers raw. Her love fierce as a river carving stone. Loneliness clung like frost, but I carried a spark, defiant as a star in the storm. The bread bag swung heavy, a reminder of our need. Yet each trip to the bakery was a pilgrimage for hope. The night stretched fast, but I walked on, a sapling bending but unbroken, rooted in Mama's unyielding faith. Flashback to summer. Mama's laughter as we wrote stories under an oak, her voice painting worlds beyond our poverty. Those moments were stolen by winter's grip, replaced by silence and want. Fairview Heights was a maze of despair, its tenements looming like gravestones. I'd trace words in the dust, dreaming of escape, but hunger gnawed deeper. Mama's eyes, once bright, dulled under toil. Yet she'd hum, stitching hope into every seam. Her sacrifices were my compass, guiding me through the cold. That night, the alley loomed, a shadowed gauntlet. I didn't know it would rewrite my fate. Each breath was a vow to rise, to write, to honor her. The stars above whispered of resilience, their light faint but fierce, like the fire in my chest. The bread bag weighed like stone, each step a battle against the cold. Our apartment's silence was a wound, no laughter, just the creak of despair. I'd lie awake, plotting stories to lift Mama's spirits. But poverty was a relentless tide. Her calloused hands, her whispered prayers, were my anchor. Fairview Heights crushed dreams, yet I clung to mine, a seed in frozen soil. The alley ahead was dark, but I walked with purpose, the bread a small victory. Mama's love was a beacon, steady as Long Island Sound's waves. I didn't see the danger waiting, the moment that would bind me to Arthur Sterling. My heart beat fierce, a drum of defiance. The night could swallow me, but not my will. I was Lily Chin, forged in struggle, carrying hope like a flame through the snow. The alley shadows swallowed the streetlight's glow, a jagged scar in Fairview Heights' heart. Clutching Mrs. Gable's bread, I froze as grunts and thuds broke the silence. 3 men loomed over a figure crumpled against the wall, their fists relentless. My heart pounded, fear rooting me like a sapling in a gale. But the man's pained gasp stirred something fierce within me, a tide rising against the dark. I screamed, my voice a thunderclap, and hurled the bread bag at the nearest thug. It struck his shoulder, startling them. They fled, their curses fading into the night. The man, bloodied, looked up, his eyes meeting mine. He was older, silver hair matted, yet his gaze held a quiet strength. Like an oak weathered but unbowed. I didn't know him, Arthur Sterling. I learned later, but in that moment, he was a stranger whose life I'd touched. The bread lay scattered. A small sacrifice for courage. The wind whispered of change, and I stood taller, a girl who defied fear under Connecticut's starry sky. I knelt beside him, my hands trembling but steady. His suit was torn, his face bruised, yet he murmured thanks, his voice soft as a stream over stones. I didn't ask his name, it didn't matter. What mattered was the spark between us. A fleeting bond forged in chaos. I called for help, my voice cutting through the cold, and soon sirens wailed in the distance. He gripped my hand, his touch warm, grounding me like earth after rain. I saw Mama in my mind, her strength urging me on. The alley, once a threat, felt alive, its walls echoing my shout. I'd acted not for glory, but because it was right. A choice as natural as a river's flow. He tried to stand, wincing, and I supported him, a 12-year-old pillar in the dark. The bread's loss stung, but courage filled me. A warmth no winter could steal. Police lights flashed, and I stepped back, my role done, yet his eyes lingered, promising something unspoken, a seed planted in the soil of that night. As officers swarmed, I slipped into the shadows, my breath misting in the chill. The man, Arthur, watched me go, his gaze a lighthouse in the fog. I didn't need thanks, saving him was enough. A story I'd write in my heart. The alley's grit clung to my shoes, each step a testament to defiance. Mama would worry, but she'd be proud, her girl aflame in the dark. I glanced back once, seeing him speak to a medic, his hand clutching where mine had been. The bread was gone, but I carried something heavier, purpose. Fairview Heights street stretched before me. No longer just a trap, but a canvas for courage. The stars above winked, as if they'd seen it all, their light a map for my journey. I was Lily Chin, not just a girl from the tenements, but a force. Like the tides of Long Island Sound, unstoppable. That night, a stranger's life intertwined with mine, leaving a mark as enduring as stone. The hospital's sterile hum couldn't dim the warmth in Arthur Sterling's eyes. I sat by his bed, a 12-year-old from Fairview Heights, still dazed by the alley's chaos. My act of shouting, throwing bread, had saved him, and now he wanted to meet me. His silver hair gleamed under the fluorescent light, his bruises fading like dusk into night. He handed me a pocket watch. Its brass worn smooth, a relic from his grandfather. "Lily," he said, his voice steady as a riverbed, "you've got courage. Write your story, it'll light the world." My chest bloomed, a wildflower breaking through frost. Mama stood nearby, her tired smile a quiet sun. The watch's weight anchored me, its ticking a song of possibility. I'd only meant to help, but now I felt seen. My dreams of writing no longer whispers in the dark. The Connecticut spring peeked through the window, but promising renewal. Arthur's words were a bridge, linking my small life to something vast. I shared my love for stories, how I'd scribble tales to lift Mama's spirits. He listened, not as a millionaire, but as a man who'd faced death and found meaning in a girl's bravery. The hospital room felt less cold, its beeps fading as our words wove a fragile bond. Mama's hand rested on my shoulder, her pride a warm current. Arthur spoke of his own youth, of dreams deferred. his eyes distant yet kind. The watch ticked softly, a reminder of time's gifts. I felt lighter, as if the alley's weight had lifted, replaced by a shared understanding. We weren't so different, both seeking purpose in a world of shadows. The nurses bustled, but our moment was a quiet meadow, untouched. I smiled, shy but genuine, and he returned it. A promise in his nod. "Keep writing, Lily," he said. "I'll see you again." His words were a seed, planted deep, ready to grow under Connecticut's patient stars. As we left, the watch's rhythm pulsed in my palm, a heartbeat of hope. The hospital's halls echoed with life, each step carrying me closer to Mama's embrace. Arthur's gift wasn't just brass, it was belief. A mirror reflecting my strength. Fairview Heights awaited, its tenements less daunting now. I saw Mama's face, her worry softened, our bond tighter than ever. The alley had changed me, but this meeting reshaped me, like clay under a potter's hands. I wasn't alone. Arthur's faith joined Mama's, a constellation guiding me. The spring air kissed my cheeks, whispering of beginnings. I imagined my story soaring, like gulls over Long Island Sound, free and fierce. Arthur's promise lingered, a thread tying us beyond that sterile room. I didn't need riches, just this moment. This connection, warming me like a hearth in winter. I was Lily Chun, a writer, a daughter, a spark. The world felt wider, its edges softer, as I stepped into the light, ready to write my name across its pages. Arthur's knock echoed through our Fairview Heights apartment, a soft thunder in the morning calm. I opened the door, the pocket watch ticking in my pocket. And there he stood, silver hair catching the Connecticut sun. He didn't need to come, yet he did, his presence like a breeze easing a heavy day. He greeted Mama with a nod, his eyes kind as cedar roots. "Lily," he said, "I want to help." He offered to fund my education at a private school, a gift vast as the horizon. Mama's hands trembled, her pride wrestling with hope. We sat, sharing tea in chipped mugs, and he listened to my latest story, his smile a lantern in our dim room. The tenement's creaks faded, replaced by warmth, like spring thawing a frozen stream. His offer wasn't just money. It was belief, a bridge from our struggles to possibility. I felt the watch's pulse, its rhythm syncing with my dreams. Arthur's quiet presence was a balm, softening the edges of our hardship. New Haven's lights spilled through the window, painting our small table gold, whispering that we weren't alone anymore. Days later, Arthur returned, no fanfare. Just a man with time to give. He brought books, novels, poetry, saying they'd fuel my writing. We read together, Mama joining, her laughter rare and precious, like dew on dawn grass. He helped fix our leaky faucet, his hands steady, unaccustomed to such work yet willing. The apartment felt less like a cage, its walls holding new stories. His visits were unasked for, yet each one stitched us closer, a quilt of care. I shared a poem, my voice shy, and he clapped, his pride a warm hearth. Mama's eyes shone, her worries lighter, like clouds parting over Long Island Sound. Arthur didn't pry, didn't judge. His presence was enough, steady as a lighthouse. The watch ticked, a reminder of the alley, of courage that led to this. Our talks grew longer, about dreams, loss, the stars. Fairview Heights' grind softened, each small act, books, repairs, time, a pebble smoothing the river of our lives. When Arthur invited us to his Hamptons mansion for dinner, it felt like a dream, yet real as the earth beneath my feet. He arrived to drive us, his car simple, his smile wide. We talked the whole way, Mama sharing old recipes, me reading a new story. The tenements faded, replaced by salt air and possibility. His mansion loomed, grand but welcoming, like an oak offering shade. He showed us the library, shelves towering, a haven for my dreams. We ate, laughed, the table alive with warmth, as if we'd always belonged. His kindness was a current, pulling us from isolation. I saw Mama relax, her shoulders unburdened, a rare peace. The watch's ticking blended with the ocean's hum, a song of connection. Arthur's gestures, visits, books. This invitation weren't grand, but they were everything, like seeds sprouting in fertile soil. I was Lily Chin, no longer just surviving, but growing, my roots entwined with his and Mama's. Reaching for a sky no longer out of reach. In Arthur's Hamptons mansion, I shared a poem, my voice trembling like a leaf in autumn wind. The library's shelves towered, a forest of stories. And Arthur listened, his eyes warm as a coastal dawn. Mama sat beside me, her smile soft, her hands no longer clenched with worry. I was 12, yet in that moment, we felt like kin. Bound not by blood, but by care. I gave Arthur a sketch, a girl saving a stranger in an alley, my pencil lines bold. He pinned it to his desk, his pride a tide lifting my heart. The mansion's grandeur faded, replaced by laughter, like waves lapping Long Island shore. We cooked together, Mama teaching Arthur her noodle recipe, flour dusting his silver hair. The kitchen glowed, a hearth of belonging. I clutched the pocket watch, its ticking a steady pulse, yet a shadow stirred, fear that this warmth could vanish. Fairview Heights cold lingered in my bones, whispering of loss. Still, Arthur's nod, Mama's touch, wove us tight, a tapestry of hope under Connecticut's starry quilt. Nights by the fireplace. I read Arthur my stories, his chuckles echoing like a brook over stones. Mama joined, her voice weaving tales of her youth, her eyes bright as summer stars. We were a trio. Our laughter painting the mansion's walls, a family carved from chance. I showed Arthur my journal, its pages spilling dreams, and he wrote a note. Keep shining, Lily. His faith was a lantern, guiding me through doubt. We walked the Hamptons dunes, sand cool beneath our feet, the oceans hum a lullaby. Mama relaxed, her burdens lighter, like gulls soaring free. Yet fear gnawed, Eleanor Vance's cold gaze at dinner, her words sharp, hinting this bond was fragile. The watch ticked, grounding me, but hope felt like a fragile sprout, easily crushed. I saw us in Fairview Heights, alone again, and my chest tightened. Still, Arthur's steady presence, his hand ruffling my hair, was a root deep in earth, promising growth. New Haven's winds carried dreams, and I dared to believe, even as shadows loomed. Morning brought us to the garden, planting seeds with Arthur, dirt smudging our hands. I laughed as he misnamed flowers, Mama correcting him, her joy a rare blossom. We were a unit, our voices blending like chords in a hymn. I gave Arthur a story, my best yet, and he read it aloud. His voice rich as cedar. The sun warmed us, a promise of spring in our hearts. But Eleanor's warnings echoed, she called our bond unnatural, her greed a storm brewing. I feared losing this. Our fragile haven. The watch's ticking was my anchor, its rhythm a vow to hold fast. Mama's hand in mine, Arthur's grin, felt eternal, like Long Island Sound's endless tides. Yet hope scared me, its light too bright, too new. Fairview Heights taught me loss, but here, I learned love, delicate as a seedling. I was Lily Chun, no longer just surviving, but daring to grow. To trust, to let this family, born of courage, shape my soul. By the Hamptons shore, I sat with Arthur, the ocean's murmur a soft confessor. The pocket watch ticked in my hand, its brass warm from my grip. I was 12, yet the weight of Fairview Heights shadows pressed heavy. My father left when I was small, I said, my voice a pebble in the tide. I don't remember his face, just Mama's tears. Arthur listened, his eyes deep as a forest pool, no judgment, only presence. I spoke of Mama's late nights, sewing to keep us afloat. Her dreams for me a lighthouse in the fog. The pain of his absence was a thorn, lodged deep, yet sharing it felt like pulling it free. The Connecticut dusk painted the sky amber, a canvas for my grief. Arthur nodded, his silence a blanket, warming my raw heart. The watch's rhythm steadied me, a bridge between loss and hope. I saw Mama's strength, her love a river carving through stone. Eleanor's sharp glances at dinner stung, her whispers of manipulation a gathering storm. But here, with Arthur, I was safe, my story a seed finding soil. Arthur shared his own loss, his parents, gone young, leaving him to build alone. His voice was steady, like roots gripping earth, and I saw him not as a millionaire but as a man shaped by sorrow. We walked the beach, sand cool underfoot, the waves echoing our shared wounds. I told him how I wrote to fill the void, stories stitching my father's absence into something bearable. Mama's sacrifices, her calloused hands, her quiet prayers, spilled out, each word a release. Arthur's hand on my shoulder was an anchor, grounding me like a cedar in a gale. Eleanor's cold stare lingered in my mind, her words a blade, "You're using him." But Arthur's faith drowned her venom. The stars emerged, bright over Long Island Sound, mirroring the light in my chest. I wasn't just a girl from the tenements, I was Lily, weaving pain into purpose. Our bond grew, a vine twining through shared grief. Stronger than Fairview Heights' despair. The watch ticked, a promise that loss could birth connection. As night fell, We sat by the mansion's hearth, Mama joining us, her eyes soft. I spoke of my father's shadow, how I'd search crowds for his face, finding only strangers. Arthur listened, then shared a memory, his mother's lullaby, now a faint echo. Mama added her own, losing her parents, raising me alone. Our stories wove a tapestry, each thread a scar, yet beautiful. The fire crackled, its warmth a balm, like spring after a cruel winter. Eleanor's disapproval loomed, her footsteps sharp in the hall, but I pushed her away. This moment, Arthur's nod, Mama's hand in mine, was a sanctuary. I wrote a line in my journal, inspired. Loss is a seed, love makes it bloom. The watch's ticking blended with the ocean's pulse, a hymn of healing. Fairview Heights felt distant, its pain softened by this fragile family. I was Lilychin, no longer defined by absence, but by the courage to speak, to trust, to let love mend what grief had torn. Eleanor's voice cut through the Hamptons' warmth, sharp as a north wind. "You're exploiting Arthur," she hissed at dinner, her eyes cold as Fairview Heights winter. I was 12, clutching the pocket watch, its ticking drowned by her venom. Mama's hand tightened on mine, her fear a shadow over our newfound joy. Eleanor, Arthur's business partner, saw our bond as a threat, her greed a storm brewing. Back in our apartment, her words lingered, a frost on my heart. That night, glass shattered, our window smashed. Furniture lay broken, a knife pinned a note. "Stay away from Arthur." Blood stained the blade, a warning chilling as Long Island Sound's depths. I trembled, Mama's arms my only anchor. Arthur arrived at dawn, his face etched with fury, yet his voice soft as dune grass. "You're coming with me," he said, offering his mansion's safety. The watch's pulse steadied me, a beacon in the dark. Fear clawed, but our bond, Arthur, Mama, me, was a river, unyielding. New Haven's dawn broke, promising refuge, yet Eleanor's shadow loomed. A hawk circling our fragile peace. We fled to Arthur's mansion, Fairview Heights ruins behind us. The attack's violence shook me, each splintered chair a wound. I saw Mama's eyes, wide with dread. Her strength tested like a willow in a gale. Arthur's car hummed, carrying us to safety, his silence a vow of protection. The Hampton Salter greeted us, a bomb. But my heart raced, Eleanor's reach felt endless. The watch ticked, its rhythm a reminder of courage, of the alley where I'd saved him. Arthur's home opened wide, a fortress of oak and light. Yet I felt exposed, a sapling in a storm. Mama unpacked, her hand steady, her love my root. Arthur introduced David, his security chief, whose calm was a stone wall against fear. I wrote in my journal, words spilling like rain, capturing the terror, the hope. Eleanor's note haunted me, its blood a stain on my dreams. But Arthur's presence, his hand on my shoulder, was a lighthouse, guiding us through. Connecticut's sky stretched wide, whispering resilience, urging me to trust this sanctuary, to hold fast to our unlikely family. In the mansion's library, I read to Mama, my voice a thread weaving us tight. Arthur joined, his smile warm as a hearth, but I saw worry in his eyes. Eleanor's threat weighed heavy. The apartment's destruction was a scar, proof of her malice. I clutched the watch, its ticking a heartbeat, syncing with Mama's quiet hum. We were safe, yet fear lingered, a fog over Long Island's dunes. David patrolled, his step sure. But I wondered if walls could stop Eleanor's greed. I shared a story with Arthur, my words defiance against the dark. He listened, his nod a promise. We'd face this together. Mama's laughter, rare and bright, lit the room, a star in the gloom. The attack had shaken us, but it forged us closer, like clay fired in a kiln. Fairview Heights taught me loss, but here, I learned strength. Born of love, Eleanor's shadow was real, but so was our bond, a tide rising against her storm. I was Lily Chun, a girl of courage, riding my way through fear, rooted in a family that no blade could sever. In Arthur's Hampton's mansion, I wrote by the window, the pocket watches ticking a steady companion. The ocean's hum soothed. Yet Eleanor's shadow lingered, a hawk circling Fairview Heights memory. I was 12, safe under Arthur's roof, Mama's laughter now a daily gift. But Eleanor's cold glances at breakfast, her muttered parasites, chilled me like a Connecticut frost. I trusted Arthur, his kindness a sturdy oak, yet doubt crept in. A phone call came. A woman's voice claiming Mama needed me at the gate. I hesitated, the watch's pulse urging caution, but love for Mama overruled. I slipped out, the mansion's warmth fading behind me. The gate loomed empty, the air heavy with salt and menace. Footsteps crunched. 3 men, faces masked, emerged from the dusk. My scream caught in my throat as they grabbed me, the watch slipping from my hand. Eleanor's betrayal was a blade, sharp and sure. Long Island's waves roared, a distant cry, but I clung to hope, a seed in frozen soil. Arthur's faith, Mama's love, were my roots. Unyielding even as darkness closed in. The men's grip was iron, dragging me toward a van, the Hamptons' lights shrinking. I kicked, my heart a drum, the watch's loss a wound deeper than fear. Eleanor's plan unspooled. Her greed had woven this trap, using my love for Mama as bait. I saw Arthur's face, his steady eyes, and Mama's hands, worn but fierce. They'd fight for me, as I'd fought for him in that alley. The van's door loomed, but I was no prey, a spark, forged in Fairview Heights grit. I twisted, shouting, my voice a tide against their silence. The night was vast. Yet the stars above whispered courage, bright as New Haven's dawn. Eleanor thought me weak, a pawn in her game, but I was Lily, shaped by love, not fear. The men faltered. My defiance a gust scattering leaves. I clung to the memory of Arthur's library, Mama's stories, our fragile family. The watch was gone, but its rhythm lived in me, a pulse of resilience. Long Island Sound's call steadied me. I'd survive, for them, for the stories I'd yet to write. As they shoved me forward, I saw Eleanor's silhouette, her smile cold as stone. She'd lured me, her voice disguised, her malice a storm breaking over our haven. I was 12, but not helpless. Courage was my inheritance, from Mama's sacrifices, Arthur's belief. The van's shadow swallowed me. Yet hope burned, a flame no rope could bind. I thought of Fairview Heights, its tenements teaching me to bend, not break. Arthur would come, his resolve a lighthouse in this fog. Mama's prayers were my armor, her love a river flowing through me. The men's grunts echoed, but I was a seed, ready to sprout through concrete. Eleanor's greed was a chain, but I'd forge my own path. Like waves carving the shore. The night pressed heavy, but Connecticut's stars held firm, guiding me. I was Lily Chin, a writer, a daughter, a fighter. This trap wouldn't hold me, my story wasn't done. I'd rise, carrying Arthur and Mama's love, a beacon to light my way through this darkness. The warehouse's chill gnawed my bones, ropes cutting my wrists like Fairview Heights' bitter winds. I was Lily Chin, 12, trapped in Eleanor's web, the Hamptons' warmth a distant dream. The air stank of rust, but I clung to hope, fierce as a seed in cracked stone. Mama's face, her steady eyes, lit my mind, her love a river through this darkness. Arthur was coming. I felt it, his faith in me a lighthouse on Long Island Sound. The watch was gone. Stolen into kidnapping, but its ticking lived in my pulse, a rhythm of defiance. Eleanor's shadow passed, her voice sharp, plotting to ruin Arthur. Her greed was a storm. But I was no driftwood, I was oak, rooted in courage. A distant siren wailed, faint as a gull's cry, and my heart leapt. Arthur's resolve, his vow to protect us, was a tide rising. The concrete pressed cold, yet I saw a New Haven's dawn, its light promising rescue. Fear trembled in me, but so did strength, forged in Mama's sacrifices, Arthur's belief. I was a story unwritten, and this wasn't my end, not while love burned bright. Bound in the dark, I whispered Mama's lullabies, each note a thread to home. Eleanor's men paced, their grunts heavy. But I saw Arthur's face, his fury in Fairview Heights after our apartment's ruin. He'd rallied David, his security chief, and the police, their search and net tightening. I imagined him now, eyes fierce, mapping Connecticut's shadows to find me. The warehouse was a cage, but my spirit soared, a sparrow above the dunes. Eleanor's betrayal cut deep, her plan to break us a jagged reef. Yet I held Mama's strength, her hands sowing hope through hardship. The siren grew louder, a beacon piercing the fog. I shifted, ropes biting, and spoke to the dark. I'm Lily, and I'll survive. My voice was small, but it carried, like a stream carving granite. Arthur's lessons, write your truth, shine, echoed, fueling my fire. Long Island's waves roared in my mind, their rhythm syncing with my heart. The door rattled, and I braced, knowing rescue neared. Eleanor's greed couldn't snuff my light, not when love was my anchor, steady as the stars. A light flickered through the warehouse's grime, boots echoing like thunder over the sound. I strained against the ropes, my breath a prayer for Arthur's arrival. Eleanor's voice hissed, panicked. As the siren screamed closer, I saw Mama's smile, her pride after the alley, and Arthur's nod in the library, his belief a shield. The kidnapping was Eleanor's gambit. But I was no pawn. I was a flame, kindled by Fairview Heights grit. The door burst open, shadows scattering like leaves in a gale. I imagined Arthur leading, his heart a compass. David and the police at his side. Eleanor's men shouted, but I felt the tide turn, hope surging like spring in New Haven. The ropes held, but my will was free, a river breaking its banks. I thought of my stories, pages yet to fill, and vowed to write them. Eleanor's plan was crumbling, her malice no match for our bond. The light grew, and I lifted my chin, ready for freedom. I was Lily Chun, daughter, writer, survivor, my courage a star blazing through this night, guiding Arthur to me. The warehouse door splintered, light flooding the dark like dawn over Long Island Sound. I was Lily Chun, 12, bound and bruised, my heart a drum as boots thundered closer. Eleanor's scream pierced the air, her silhouette wild against the glare. "You'll ruin everything," she spat, raising a gun at a figure, Arthur. My breath caught, ropes biting my wrists, but hope surged, a tide breaking free. Sirens wailed, and Captain Reynolds shouted, his voice steady as Connecticut granite. A shot rang out, Eleanor collapsing, her malice snuffed like a candle in a gale. Arthur rushed to me, his eyes fierce with relief, cutting my bonds with trembling hands. Mama's love, his faith, had led him here, through New Haven's shadows. The cold concrete faded, replaced by his warmth. A hearth after Fairview Heights frost. I was free, yet Eleanor's fall shook me. Greed had twisted her, a tree rotted at the root. The police swarmed, David's calm directing them. But I clung to Arthur, my anchor. The stars outside gleamed, promising renewal, and I knew I'd write this moment, a story of courage born from love's unyielding light. Arthur held me, his coat rough against my cheek, the warehouse's chill retreating. Reynolds secured Eleanor, her threats silenced, her plan a shattered reef. I saw Mama in my mind, her strength a river that carried me through this night. Arthur's voice, soft as dune grass, murmured, "You're safe, Lily." My wrist stung, but freedom was sweeter, like spring rain on Hampton's fields. The police lights flashed, a rhythm syncing with my pulse, once tethered to the lost pocket watch. Eleanor's greed had aimed to break us, but our bond, Arthur, Mama, me, was iron, forged in Fairview Heights trials. I stood, legs shaky, and saw David nod, his loyalty a stonewall. The warehouse, a tomb hours ago, now felt alive, its walls echoing rescue. I thought of my stories, pages waiting to hold this truth. Arthur's arm steadied me, a bridge from fear to hope. Long Island's waves whispered outside, their song blending with New Haven's dawn. I was no victim but a survivor, my courage a seed sprouting through concrete, ready to bloom under love's patient care. As we stepped outside, the air was sharp, Connecticut's sky a canvas of stars. Eleanor's defeat was a weight lifted, her shadow no match for our light. I imagined Mama waiting, her arms my true home, her pride a beacon. Arthur's resolve had saved me, his heart a compass through this storm. The police escorted us, Reynolds calm a steady current, but my eyes locked on Arthur, our bond a tapestry woven tight. Fairview Heights taught me grit, but this night taught me trust, delicate as a sparrow's wing. I'd lost the watch, but its ticking lived in me, a pulse of defiance. The Hampton salt air greeted us, a promise of healing. I was Lily Chun, writer, daughter, no longer bound by fear. Eleanor's fall was a warning, greed destroys, but love builds. My story would soar, like gulls over the sound, carrying this truth. Courage, kindled by connection, could light even the darkest night, guiding Arthur to me. The Hamptons' dawn broke soft, its light washing over Arthur's mansion like a tide over Long Island Sound. I was Lily Chun, 12, safe now, but the warehouse's chill lingered in my bones. Mama held me, her arms a fortress, her tears warm against my cheek. Eleanor's arrest was a stone dropped in a still pond, ripples of truth spreading. Detective Hayes explained. Her greed had spun a web of crime, aiming to seize Arthur's wealth. The FBI unraveled it, her empire crumbling like sandcastles at high tide. I sat with Arthur, his hands steady as cedar, his eyes heavy with guilt. "I brought this on you," he said, but I shook my head. His faith had saved me, not curse me. Fairview Heights scars taught me resilience, but this ordeal forged us closer, a family tempered in fire. The pocket watch was gone, but its rhythm lived in me. A pulse of survival. New Haven's breeze carried renewal, whispering that pain could birth purpose. I wrote in my journal, capturing the truth. Love had outshone greed. Our bond, Mama, Arthur, me, was a beacon, unyielding, ready to light a new chapter. In the mansion's library, I read to Mama, my voice steady, a stream carving through doubt. Arthur listened, his smile a hearth warming the room. The investigation deepened, revealing Eleanor's network, thugs, bribes, a plan years in the making. Her betrayal stung, a thorn from Fairview Heights shadows. But it couldn't break us. Mama's laughter, once rare, bloomed, her strength a river flowing free. I saw her so, her hands no longer trembling, her dreams for me bright as Connecticut stars. Arthur shared his own fears, losing us, failing me, and I hugged him, our bond a bridge over fear. The police reports piled, each page a nail in Eleanor's fate, but I focused on us. Our trio a tapestry woven tight. The ocean's hum outside echoed my heart, steady despite the storm's echo. I wrote a story, my words defiance, promising to rise above pain. Long Island's dunes stretched beyond, their curves a map of healing. We weren't just survivors, we were builders, shaping a future from love's sturdy clay, rooted in trust. Unshaken by greed's fleeting shadow. By the garden, we planted flowers, Mama's hands in soil, Arthur's beside hers. The FBI's findings closed Eleanor's chapter, her wealth stripped, her power dust. I felt no joy, only relief, like a gale passing over New Haven's hills. The warehouse was a memory, its ropes no match for our will. I spoke of my fear, my hope, and Arthur nodded, his eyes deep as the sound's depths. You're stronger than you know, he said, and Mama agreed, her pride a sun breaking clouds. Our bond was no accident, but a seed planted in that alley, now blooming fierce. I wrote, my pen a sword, carving truth from pain. Fairview Heights lessons, grit, love, blended with this haven, crafting a new story. The flowers we planted would grow, like us, through cracks in stone. Connecticut's sky stretched wide, a canvas for dreams. I was Lily Chun, no longer bound by fear, but lifted by love. My words a river flowing toward tomorrow, carrying our light, our truth, to shores yet unseen. In Arthur's Hampton's kitchen, we cooked, Mama's hands guiding mine, Arthur chopping herbs with a shy grin. The air hummed with garlic and warmth. A balm after the warehouse's chill. I was Lily Chun, 12, my heart still raw but healing. Arthur spoke, his voice soft as Long Island sounds waves. I'm sorry for the danger I brought you. His guilt was a shadow, but Mama's touch, my nod, dispelled it. We set the table, a simple spread, noodles, bread, laughter, a feast richer than Fairview Heights dreams. No barriers stood between us. We were kin, forged in trial. Arthur announced the Beacon Hope Center, a haven in Fairview Heights for kids like me, inspired by my courage. My chest bloomed, a wildflower breaking stone. The meal bound us, each bite a vow to rebuild. New Haven's dusk glowed outside, its light mirroring our hope. I saw gratitude in Mama's eyes, love in Arthur's smile, a constellation of care. The center's promise was a seed, rooted in our pain, ready to grow. I wrote in my mind, words flowing like a river, capturing this moment, this family, born of courage and love. We ate. Our laughter a melody, the table a hearth where fears dissolved. Arthur shared plans for the center, classrooms, books, a place for stories to soar. I saw Fairview Heights tenements, once my cage, now a canvas for change. Mama's pride shone, her hands no longer calloused but soft, stirring soup. The warehouse's ropes were a memory, undone by this unity. We cared for each other, passing plates, our eyes meeting in silent thanks. Arthur's apology lingered, but I felt no blame. His heart had saved me, as I'd saved him. The center was his gift, but it was mine too, my courage its spark. Long Island's breeze slipped through the window, carrying salt and promise. I imagined kids writing, dreaming, free from hunger's grip. Our bond, Mama, Arthur, me, was a bridge, spanning pain to purpose. Connecticut's stars winked, approving our resolve. I was no longer just a survivor but a builder, my story's a light for others. This meal, simple yet profound, Was our covenant a testament to love's power, stronger than Eleanor's greed, enduring as the tides? After dinner, we sat by the fire, Mama's hand in mine, Arthur's gaze warm as cedar embers. The Beacon Hope Center's blueprint lay open, a map of hope. I spoke of my dreams, to write, to lift others as Arthur lifted me. Mama nodded, her love a steady current. Arthur's smile a lighthouse in New Haven's night. The meal had woven us tighter, our care a garden where trust bloomed. Fairview Heights would rise. Its kids no longer shadowed but bathed in possibility. The warehouse taught me fear, but this night taught me faith, delicate as a fern. I saw the center's future, laughter, learning, lives reshaped. Our eyes met, gratitude unspoken, love a quiet flame. The ocean's hum outside echoed our pulse, a rhythm of renewal. I was Lily Chin, daughter, writer, a spark kindled in an alley. Now a fire for change. The center would stand, like us, through storms, its roots deep in our shared story. Connecticut's dawn waited, ready to light our path, as we carried this love, this hope. Forward, a beacon for all who'd lost their way. In the Hamptons garden, Arthur spoke of the Beacon Hope Center, its plans sprawling like Long Island Sound's tides. I was Lilychin, 12. My heart warmed by his vision, yet a thorn of doubt pricked. His gifts, school, safety, the center, felt heavy, like Fairview Heights charity bins. Was I his project, pitted not loved? I clenched my fists, the wind sharp as New Haven's winter. Is this because you feel sorry for me? I asked, my voice a jagged stone. Arthur's eyes widened, hurt flickering like a candle in a gust. Lily, no, it's because you're extraordinary, he said, but my fear drowned him. I saw Mama's pride, her sacrifices, and feared we were burdens. I don't need saving. I snapped. My words a storm breaking. Mama gasped, her hand on mine, but I pulled away. Arthur's face fell, a tree bending in a gale. He nodded, silent, and walked toward the mansion. His steps heavy as Connecticut's dusk. The garden's blooms mocked me, their colors dimmed by my doubt. I stood alone, the ocean's hum a distant echo. My heart torn between trust and the scars of poverty's weight. I sat by the dunes, the sand cool, my thoughts tangled like seaweed. Arthur's kindness, Mama's school, our safety was a gift. But Fairview Heights taught me pity's sting. I feared being his cause, not his family. The warehouse's ropes were gone, but doubt bound me tighter, a shadow cast by Eleanor's venom. I saw Mama's face. Her love a river, yet I'd pushed her away too. Arthur hadn't meant a wound. His belief had lifted me from that alley to this haven. But my words, sharp as thorns, had cut us all. I traced a story in the sand, a girl lost in fear, and realized I'd misread his heart. The stars emerged, bright as New Haven's hope, urging me to mend this rift. Arthur's silence wasn't anger but space, a gift as gentle as Long Island's waves. I was Lily, shaped by grit, not just pain. My doubt was a storm, but love was the shore, steady, waiting. I stood, resolved to speak, to rebuild what fear had cracked, my courage a seed sprouting through doubt's hard earth. Mama found me, her touch soft as dusk, her eyes forgiving. I confessed my fear. Arthur's gifts felt like charity, not love. She shook her head, her voice a warm hearth. He sees you, Lily, as I do. I saw Arthur by the mansion, gazing at the ocean alone. My outburst had built a wall, but walls could fall. I walked to him, the Hamptons breeze carrying my resolve. I'm sorry, I said, my voice small but true. He turned, his smile faint. A lighthouse in fog. I never pitied you, he said, only believed. The words sank deep, like roots in fertile soil. I hugged him, Mama joining, our trio whole again. Fairview Heights lessons, pride. Survival had fueled my doubt, but love was stronger, a tide washing clean. The center wasn't pity but purpose, ours to share. Connecticut's night wrapped us, its stars a map of trust. I was Lilychin. No longer doubting but embracing, my story woven with theirs, a tapestry of courage, ready to shine beyond this moment's shadow. In the Hamptons library, I wrote a story, my pen dancing like waves on Long Island Sound. I was Lilychin, 12, weaving our journey, Fairview Heights grit, the alley's courage, the warehouse's terror. The page held my truth. A girl who saved a stranger, found a family, defied greed. I gave it to Arthur, his eyes soft as New Haven's dusk, and Mama, her pride a warm tide. This is for you, I said, my voice a seedling breaking soil. The Beacon Hope Center's blueprint lay nearby, a dream born of my spark. Arthur read aloud, his voice steady as cedar, each word a bridge from pain to purpose. Mama's hand found mine, her love a river flowing free. My story wasn't just mine. It was ours, a map for the center's kids. The ocean's hum outside echoed my heart, promising new beginnings. My doubt had faded, replaced by trust, like stars piercing Connecticut's night. This act of writing, simple yet profound, was my letter to them, a vow to keep shining. I realized courage wasn't just surviving. It was sharing, building, loving through fear, a flame no shadow could dim. Arthur finished, his smile a hearth, and said, "This will inspire thousands." I saw the center in Fairview Heights, its doors open, kids writing their own tales. My story was a seed, planted in that alley, now sprouting through our bond. Mama hugged me, her whisper fierce. "You're my hero." The warehouse's ropes, Eleanor's malice, were ghosts, powerless against our unity. I wrote to heal, to honor them, and now my words would lift others. Like gulls soaring over the sound. The library's shelves held worlds, but mine was here, with Arthur and Mama, our love a fortress. The center would be our legacy, a lighthouse for the lost. I understood now. My fear of pity had been a shadow, but truth, our shared strength, was the sun. Connecticut's breeze carried hope, urging me to write more, to dream bigger. My story was a beginning, not an end, its pages open for others to join. I was Lily, no longer bound by doubt, but lifted by purpose. My words a river carving paths for those yet to come. We walked to the garden. My story in hand, the Hamptons' dusk painting the sky gold. I saw kids in Fairview Heights, their eyes bright, reading my words, finding their own courage. Arthur spoke of the center's opening, a beacon for New Haven's youth. Mama's nod was a vow, her love my root. My story wasn't just a gift, it was a mirror reflecting our resilience, our family forged in fire. The realization sank deep. Writing was my power, not to escape but to connect, to turn pain into possibility. The ocean's rhythm synced with my heart, a pulse of renewal. I'd faced fear, loss, and won, not alone, but with them. The center would rise, like us, from struggle's soil, its light enduring. Connecticut's stars gleamed, a map of dreams. I was Lily Chin, writer, daughter, a spark kindled by love. My story, shared, was a letter to the world, promising that courage, born of connection, could heal, could grow, could light the darkest paths forever. At the Beacon Hope Center's opening in Fairview Heights, I stood, heart racing, before a crowd, my story in hand. I was Lily Chin, 12, once bound by ropes, now free to speak. The microphone hummed. New Haven's breeze carrying my words like seeds on Long Island Sound's tides. I told of the alley, Arthur's rescue, Mama's love, a tale of courage born from struggle. Kids like me, eyes wide, listened. Their dreams no longer caged by tenements. The center's walls, fresh with paint, held promise, a haven for stories to bloom. Arthur smiled, his pride a steady cedar, Mama's hand warm in mine. My voice, once a whisper in Fairview Heights shadows, now soared, a gull over Connecticut's hills. I spoke for them, the voiceless, proving one act, my shout in the dark, could spark change. The crowd clapped, their cheers a river breaking banks. My story wasn't just mine, it was theirs, a light for every child fighting hunger, fear. The center stood as proof. Love transforms pain into purpose. I realized my words were wings, lifting others, my courage a flame kindling hope across this wounded, beautiful land. Later, I walked the center's halls. Kids scribbling tales, their laughter bright as New Haven's dawn. I saw myself in them, hungry, hopeful, dreaming beyond cracked walls. Arthur joined me, his vision alive in these rooms. The Beacon Hope Center a lighthouse for Fairview Heights. I shared my journal with a girl, her eyes sparking as she read. "You're like me," she said, and I nodded, my heart full. Mama's pride. Arthur's faith had led here, from an alley to this sanctuary. My advocacy wasn't loud but steady, like Long Island's wave-shaping stone. I spoke at schools, libraries. My story rippling through Connecticut, each word a pebble in a pond. The center grew, its classes filling, kids finding their voices. I wrote more, my pen a sword, cutting through despair. The warehouse's shadow faded, replaced by this light, born of our bond. I was no longer just a survivor but a guide, showing others that courage, small as a seed, could grow mighty. The stars above whispered approval, their glow a map for dreamers, urging me to keep speaking, to keep shining. By the center's garden, I planted a tree with Arthur and Mama, dirt smudging our hands. Kids gathered, their stories shared, a chorus of hope. My voice had reached beyond Fairview Heights, articles quoting me, my tale viral, a YouTube spark. I spoke of struggle, of love's power. Each word avowed to lift the unseen. The center thrived, a testament to one act, my scream, that changed everything. Arthur mentored me, Mama cheered, their belief a river flowing through me. Connecticut's dusk painted the sky, its hues a canvas for our dreams. I saw the girl from earlier, her story now bold, her eyes fierce. My advocacy was no burden, but a gift. Like when carrying seeds to new soil. The warehouse taught me fear. The center taught me legacy. I was Lily Chin, writer, advocate, a spark from an alley, now a fire for change. My words, once private, were a beacon, proving courage could heal, could unite, could light a path for every child dreaming under New Haven's endless, hopeful stars. In Fairview Heights, the Beacon Hope Center buzzed, kids' voices rising like gulls over Long Island Sound. I was Lily Chin, 12, my advocacy stretching me thin, my words now a public flame. I'd spoken at New Haven schools, my story a spark for others, but fame's weight dulled my heart. One evening, I sat alone in the center's garden, the dusk cool as Connecticut's tides. Arthur approached, his silver hair catching the fading light, Mama at his side. No words came, none were needed. Arthur's nod, steady as cedar, met my eyes, and Mama's smile, warm as a hearth, wrapped me close. We stood, a silent trio, our bond a river flowing past fear. The garden's bloom swayed, whispering of roots deep and true. My public voice had carried me far, but here, with them, I was home. Their presence was a lighthouse, guiding me back from the storm of crowds. I exhaled, the weight lifting, our connection a quiet vow to keep building, loving, shining. This moment, wordless yet full, was our reunion, a fresh start etched in New Haven's twilight, promising a family forged forever in courage. We walked the center's halls, their hands brushing mine. No need for speech. The kids' drawings lined the walls, stories born of my spark, yet I'd felt adrift, a leaf on Fairview Heights winds. Arthur's glance, Mama's touch, anchored me, like dunes holding the shore. We paused by a classroom, watching a boy read his tale, his voice bold. Arthur's eyes crinkled, Mama softened, and I knew they saw me in him brave, dreaming. The distance I'd felt, born of speeches and crowds, dissolved, our bond a steady current. Long Island's salt air drifted through a window, blending with the center's hum, a song of belonging. I'd feared losing them to my new role, but their silence spoke louder than my words, promising I was enough, Lily, not just a voice. The center was ours, a seed from that alley. Now a tree shading others. Connecticut's stars emerged, bright as hope, sealing our pact. This quiet reunion, this nod, this touch, was our strength, a canvas for love to paint anew, carrying us forward, whole, through any storm. By the garden's tree, we sat, the one we'd planted, its leaves whispering New Haven's dreams. Arthur's hand rested near mine, Mama's head on my shoulder. Our silence a tapestry of trust. My advocacy had stretched me, but their presence wove me back, like threads in Fairview Heights quilts. A kid ran past, clutching a story, and our eyes met. Smiles breaking like dawn. No questions asked, no doubts voiced. Just us, together, a family carved from chance. The center thrived, its light spreading, but this moment was our core. A flame kindled in an alley, unquenched by fear. Long Island Sound's rhythm pulsed, syncing with my heart, a vow to stay close. I saw our journey, pain, courage, love, and knew this silence held it all. A bridge to tomorrow. Connecticut's night wrapped us, its breeze a caress, urging us to keep growing. I was Lily Chin, writer, daughter, no longer adrift but rooted, my story theirs. Our bond a beacon, shining soft but sure, guiding us through life's tides, a quiet promise of forever. The Beacon Hope Center pulsed with life, Fairview Heights' heart now beating strong. I was Lily Chin, 12, watching kids paint murals, their laughter bright as Long Island Sound's waves. We built this, Arthur, Mama, me, a haven from tenement shadows. Arthur stepped back from his empire, his silver hair dusted with paint, guiding kids with a grin. His wealth was no longer his purpose, This was a garden of dreams. I taught a writing class. My stories kindling theirs, each word a seed in New Haven's soil. A boy read his tale, eyes shining, and I saw my old self, hungry but hopeful. The center wasn't riches, but meaning. A lighthouse for the lost. Mama helped cook lunches, her joy a warm tide, her hands no longer worn. We didn't need gold, just this, kids thriving, proof of our love. Connecticut's sun spilled through windows, painting our work gold, a testament to courage born in an alley. My pen danced, capturing this joy, my voice no longer small but a river. Flowing through these walls, carrying hope to every child who'd ever felt unseen, their smiles our truest wealth. Outside, we planted a garden, kids digging beside Arthur. Mama's laughter blending with theirs. The center grew, classes full, stories soaring like gulls over New Haven's hills. I wrote articles, shared on YouTube, my tale of courage sparking thousands. Arthur mentored, his time more precious than his fortune, his eyes bright as Connecticut stars. A girl showed me her poem, her voice bold, and I hugged her, my heart full. This was our purpose, not wealth, but lives lifted, like dunes shaped by steady winds. Mama's meals fed bellies and souls, her love a hearth for all. Fairview Heights, once my cage, now bloomed. The center its root. I saw kids run, free from hunger's grip, their joy a mirror of our work. Long Island's breeze carried their cheers, a song of renewal. My stories, once whispers, were now a chorus, proving one act could change everything. We built this together, our hands joined, a tapestry of care. The center stood tall, a beacon, its light enduring, showing that meanings forged in love was wealth no vault could hold. At dusk, I stood by the mural, kids' colors vivid, a canvas of hope. Arthur joined, his nod steady as cedar, Mama's hand in mine. Warm as New Haven's dawn. The center's impact was clear, kids dreaming, writing, growing, their happiness our proof. I read a story to them, my voice a river, flowing from that alley to this moment. Arthur's philanthropy, Mama's care. My words, they wove a legacy stronger than Fairview Heights scars. A boy grinned, his tale published, his pride a spark kindled by us. This wasn't about riches but purpose, a flame no wind could snuff. Long Island Sound's rhythm echoed our pulse, a vow to keep building. I saw the future, more centers, more stories, more lives changed. Connecticut's sky stretched wide, its stars a map for dreamers. I was Lily Chun, writer, daughter, no longer bound by struggle, but lifted by love. The center was our gift, a lighthouse for generations, its light born of courage, proving that meaning, shared, could heal, could grow, could shine forever in these joyful, boundless hearts. In the Beacon Hope Center's garden, I held a notebook, its pages filled with our story, Fairview Heights struggles, the alley's courage, our triumph over fear. I was Lilychin, 12. My heart steady as Long Island Sound's tides. I gave it to Arthur and Mama, its cover etched with a tree, our symbol of growth. This is us, I said, my voice a river-breaking stone. Arthur's eyes, warm as New Haven's dawn, met mine, his nod a vow. Mama hugged me, her love a hearth, her tears bright as Connecticut stars. This wasn't a proposal but a choice, our family forged in fire. Now rooted deep, the notebook held my words, our truth, a girl, a mother, a mentor, bound by courage. The center's kids ran nearby, their laughter proof of our work. Arthur said, we stay together. Always. His words were simple, yet sure, like dunes holding the shore. The trees' leaves swayed, mirroring our bond, unyielding as the sound's waves. This act, this gift, was our pledge. A beacon for Fairview Heights, promising love's light would endure, guiding us through any storm, forever one. We sat under the tree, the notebook open, its pages a tapestry of our journey. Arthur read a line, his voice steady as cedar, Mama's hand in mine, warm as summer soil. The center thrived, its walls alive with stories, but this moment was ours, a quiet vow. I'd chosen them. Not with rings but words, my pen a bridge from pain to purpose. Fairview Heights scars faded, replaced by this haven, our legacy. The kids' voices echoed, their dreams ours to nurture. Like seeds in New Haven's earth. Arthur's promise, Mama's touch, wove us tighter, a family no fear could break. The notebook's tree was us, roots deep, branches wide, sheltering all. Long Island's breeze carried hope, its rhythm our pulse. I saw our future, not grand but true, built on love, not wealth. My words, once whispers, now bound us, a vow stronger than stone. Connecticut's dusk glowed, its light our oath. I was Lily, no longer alone, but chosen, my story theirs, a commitment to stay, to build, to shine, as one, through life's endless, hopeful tides. The notebook rested between us, its tree a symbol, our roots entwined in Fairview Heights soil. Arthur spoke of mentoring more kids, Mama of cooking for them, their eyes bright as New Haven stars. I added a page, writing, we choose each other, my pen steady, a river carving truth. The center was our proof, its laughter a song of unity. We stood, hands joined, the tree's shadow our shelter. Its growth our promise. The warehouse, Eleanor's greed, were shadows, powerless against our light. Long Island Sound's waves hummed, a chorus of forever. I saw kids reading my story. Their courage sparked, our bond aflame for them. This choice wasn't loud but eternal, like Connecticut's hills standing firm. Mama's smile, Arthur's nod, were my home, my strength. The notebook, our tree, held our vow. No need for grandeur, just us, together. I was Lily Chun, writer, daughter, chosen by love, not chance. Our family, born in an alley, now stood tall, a beacon for all. Its roots deep, its light a promise to stay, to love, to grow, forever bound. In the Beacon Hope Center's garden, we sat, Fairview Heights alive with kids' laughter. A chorus like Long Island Sound's waves. I was Lily Chin, 12, my notebook open, Mama's hand in mine, Arthur's smile warm as New Haven's dusk. The tree we planted stood tall, its leaves dancing in Connecticut's breeze, our family a hearth after the storm. I'd faced fear, ropes, greed, doubt, but love carried us through, from an alley's spark to this haven. The center thrived, kids writing, dreaming, their joy our legacy. Arthur, now a mentor, not a mogul, read a child's story, his voice steady as cedar. Mama cooked, her meals a gift, her love a tide lifting all. My words, once whispers, now soared, a book published, a YouTube spark for thousands. I learned courage wasn't just facing danger, but choosing love. Building hope from pain. The stars above gleamed, a map of second chances. I looked at them, Mama, Arthur, and knew we'd won, our bond a beacon. If you believe in second chances, share your story. Join our light. Let courage bloom, like seeds in Fairview Heights soil, transforming pain into love's eternal flame. The center's lights glowed, kids' voices echoing as we shared a meal under Connecticut's sky. I reflected on our path, Fairview Heights hunger, the alley's roar, the warehouse's dark. Each step, from Mama's sacrifices to Arthur's faith, wove us tight, a tapestry of resilience. The center was our proof. One act, my shout, had sparked a movement, its ripples reaching beyond New Haven. Arthur's philanthropy, Mama's care, my stories, they built this, not wealth, but heart. A girl read her poem, her eyes bright, and I saw my younger self, dreaming beyond tenements. Long Island's waves hummed, a song of renewal, our family its chorus. I'd lost a watch, faced fear, but gained a home, a purpose. Courage, kindled by love, was my lesson. A river carving through stone. This moment, warm with laughter, was our victory, a light for others. Share your spark, your second chance, on YouTube, in comments, in life. Let's build hope together. Like gulls soaring free, proving love's power endures, unshaken by any storm, forever lighting paths for the lost. As night fell, the garden's tree stood firm, its roots our bond. Deep as Long Island Sound's depths. Kids danced, their stories alive, the center a lighthouse in Fairview Heights' heart. I wrote, my pen aflame, capturing this joy, Mama's laughter, Arthur's nod. Our love a steady current. New Haven's stars shone, each a story of courage, like mine, born in an alley, now guiding thousands. The warehouse, Eleanor's greed, were shadows, faded by our light. Arthur mentored, Mama nurtured, I spoke, our work a vow to lift others. My book, shared online, sparked tears, hope, a viral call to act. I learned kindness, small as a seed, could grow mighty. Changing lives. This family, this center, was our legacy, a testament to love's strength. Connecticut's dusk wrapped us, its breeze a whisper of forever. I was Lily Chin, writer, daughter. A spark become a fire. If you found a second chance, tell it, share it, let it soar. Join us, in Fairview Heights or beyond, to kindle hope, to write a world where love always wins.